positive news about the return of fans.
Crowds return to the football today.
Oh, yes!
I take it all back. Claudio Ranieri is the best manager in the league.
You did not just say that, Ollie.
Well, it was a Ranieri masterclass.
Ranieri.
We slagged him off so much last week.
Excuse me, you slagged him off. I didn't slag him off. I just said I don't think he's the right man for the job.
Well, we were both wrong.
And you were like, oh, he's not the Leicester man. It wasn't his fault that Leicester won the league. It wasn't anything to do with him. And then he goes and spanks Everton.
Can't believe Josh King scored a hat-trick as well.
Never started for Everton in the 11 games he was there. And then he returns and scores a hat-trick.
Arguably. Well, they've signed Solomon Rondon, so it's a downgrade. How could you get... I don't mean to say downgrade, but a downgrade Everton and managed to downgrade from Josh King.
I'm sorry, but Everton are just the most confusing team in the league. Just every single season, they always come into it everyone's like, oh, Everton are going to do this and Everton are going to do that, and then they literally do absolutely nothing for the whole season. It's awful. It is absolutely awful. They just... What is the problem with Everton? I just don't understand it. We're going to be really good at the start of the season, and then we're going to be really shit, and then we're going to be really good midway through the season, and then we're going to be really shit again.
We fell into the trap, because there's the trap of saying that Everton are going to be the dark horses in the season at the beginning of the season, and every year we moan about, they say it every year, and there was me and you, mainly me going, I think Everton could be the dark horses this season.
I want to get behind. I want Everton to do a bit better because,
I feel like we're programmed to think Everton are the 5th biggest club, or 6th biggest club, 7th, whatever. But we're not. So they're not.
Then they're not. And I actually generally was like, I thought for the first time, in years, I was like, they haven't gone out and spent ridiculous sums of money on players that aren't going to come and do them a job. They've just gone and bought, good players, players that they could actually, mould something into. You're taking an Andros Townsend who's come from, a Crystal Palace side and, he needs a bit of a kick up for his future. Damari Gray's come over with a point of view.
His career's almost over.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? They've all got points to prove in their career. Andros Townsend's not finished yet, is he?
Well, I think everyone thought he'd had.
Well, that's what I mean. But they've signed all these players. Well, exactly. So look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo's 36. Right.
But bloody Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't being sent on loan to Yeovil Town.
But
not that we know of. It's still time, Cristiano.
On you go. Well, at the moment, he might actually go, you know what, actually, I'll take that at the moment.
Weymouth away. I'll take it in a heartbeat.
I know we can't go to Man United just yet. But yeah, but I just don't know. I think we say the same, as we just said, we say the same thing every year. And, I mean, it's not a bad squad they've got there. They've got some really good players. They just... And I don't know what it is because they've tried every form of manager. They've gone for, experience in Ranieri. Maybe that's the guy they need.
But there's still time in his career. I wouldn't put it past him.
It wouldn't surprise me actually if they do. But I just don't know what they feel their identity is. They never seem to go for the same manager. It's gone from Big Sam, Koeman to Big Sam to Martinez.
Oh my God, I forgot Sam Allardyce was manager at Everton.
That's terrible, isn't it? But they go from him to Martinez to Ronald Koeman. I mean, I'm expecting to get the job next week, if I'm being honest. But
well, David, you don't want to know what the surprise round at the end of the podcast is.
Is it? But I don't know. I always expect so much more of Everton, and they fail to deliver once again. And I think what they could do with is just. Do you know one thing I'm really surprised? Why don't they play their good young players? But that Ben Gordon, I thought he was brilliant against Watford, and then they took him off, and but then they went downhill. And I'm like, why are you taking off your youngster? And I know Richarlison came on and scored, but why are you taking off Gordon, who's actually, doing a job for you? And why are you keeping on these stale older players? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't know. Who am I? I'm not a football manager. I mean, I did turn Andy Zakiri from 61 rated to 89 rated, but what do I know?
Exactly. I'm glad you finally realised that, Dave. What do you?
Actually, Ollie, here's a question I wanted to ask you because it's a bit of fun. What would you say is your best football manager achievement?
I've got. You asked me this like a year ago, not on the podcast, but just in general. Actually, I think I asked it in a quiz, a quiz about me. It was during the lockdown, guys. No, I'm not that arrogant. I promise.
Yeah, I know.
It's close. I got this was embarrassing because I'd actually stayed as Forest Green manager for 18 years. As you can tell, lockdown hit me hard. But I got Forest Green to won a Carabao Cup. I know. I should have won a Premier League by then, but I hadn't. But I hadn't. But the thing was, I hadn't spent over 20 million on a player. And
that's such a Burnley thing.
Mate, I can't do it. I just can't. I hate signing big players for big money. It's all about those Brazilian and Colombian wonder kids. They'd never heard of the village of Forest Green before. Vegan hamburgers, not in my place. They all had to drive electric cars to the stadium. They didn't like it. Or the other one was, I think I'd shown this one during the lockdown because I was so shocked. Basically, long story short, I started off with Notts County. I went to Tranmere, then I went to Villa. I'd done really, really well at Villa, and then I went to Borussia Dortmund. And in my first season as Dortmund manager, we beat Schalke 9-0, and I still don't really know how it happened. It was no surprise that Schalke went down, but my fans loved me after that. There was no going back.
Oh,
I never knew you could score 9 goals on Football Manager, but it happened. I remember posting it on Twitter, and the Football Manager page liked it.
Oh, no way!
I think I'm gonna still see if it must still be up. But yeah, Borussia Dortmund or Forest Green, arguably the same team, but yeah, I think that's it. It was great fun.
My favourite, because I don't play Football Manager, I do FIFA Career Mode, and I always say my best achievement that I've ever done was take Crawley Town. I took Crawley Town from League 2 to the Premier League in 4 consistent seasons. And then I was in the Premier League and I finished 9th, which I'm like, that's a fairly reasonable position. I was like, I'll take 9th place for Crawley. I hadn't spent a lot of money. I'd just been buying loads of free agent players that were always available and just chucked big wages at them. So I suppose it was. And then suddenly I was like, oh, okay, let's go on to next season. Top 4 here. Oh, I've been sacked. And I was like, and then it came out on the board was like, we expect far more from this season of Crawley Town. We feel you've underachieved and a new manager is probably the best to come in. I was like, I'm just taking you from League 2 literally to top half the Premier League in 4 seasons. And you've sacked me. But I always say my favourite ever achievement has to be getting Brighton forward Andy Zakiri from 61 rated all the way through to 93.
Oh, wow. Do you know what it is actually really? I don't know if you pre-ordered FIFA this year, but you obviously get those homegrown players.
Yeah.
But the best thing ever is having one of them and going from 70 rated and getting them in the 80s then the 90s. It's the best feeling, especially on those creator clubs, because you're like, I've made a club legend.
Do you know what I didn't realise? And I've only just realised this in the last few weeks or so, is that when a player retires, they come back as a regen.
Yeah, did you not know this?
No.
That's why you have to look for them popping up in that league, don't you?
And I was like, what? I was like, you just come back as a regen. I didn't know that.
You know what do you know what you can do? Or no, you can't do it this year, but do you remember when they had that Soccer Aid team in FIFA? I think they still do, but you could put them into career mode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to take Perez or something or Shearer and put them in, wait for them to retire, and then find their regen. But I've just found the screenshot of that Dortmund. Guess who I had? So I had Nathan Young-Coombs, who I remember was at the time. I think he still is at. Oh no, he's at Brentford now. He joined Brentford B from Rangers. He's a random English guy I signed. And I had that Nikola Vlasic, the one who's at West Ham now, but he used to be at Everton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he scored a hat trick in that game. And Renato Sanchez was all right in that game. Probably like 45-year-old Renato Sanchez, but
45.
I don't think I had any current Dortmund players in that team.
Did you not?
No, it was 2027. So
where was Haaland?
He hadn't even signed for Dortmund at that. Oh no, he hadn't signed Dortmund in real life at that point.
Do you know what? It feels like Haaland's been there for so many years. It feels like he's been there so much longer than he actually is.
He's going to be out till 2022 apparently.
Oh really?
Yeah, well, that's what I saw last night. Yeah, could be out for the rest of the season.
Oh shit! Oh no! Oh,
I wouldn't want to play in that horrible Puma kit. You know that third one.
Oh yeah, that is dreadful.
Haaland.
You love Erling Haaland.
I do. He's one of my favourite, if not my favourite player in world football.
Well,
I love those TikToks of people pretending to run like him in the distance.
Well, let's talk a bit about something that Erling Haaland is up for, and that is the Ballon d'Or. Well, the shortlist has come out. It came out about a week ago now. Who are you feeling's going to win it?
This is the most pointless question of all time, David, because whoever we believe deserves to win it
never wins it.
Never wins it.
Oh no, Lewandowski won it last year, and I said he deserved to win it.
Yeah, I like that picture he took in bed with it, with like the Champions League as well. That was great fun. Well, I always say it should be bloody Mo Salah or someone, but it never is.
If you were picking, who would it be?
Such a tough one because no one's had people have had really, really good seasons. Oh, years, sorry. People have had really, really good years, but there's not been like one standout player. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there's been loads of really good people, really good players.
Mm-hmm. You know who it's going to be, don't you?
No.
It's going to be Jorginho, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you're true. But how do people like Pedri get? I think Pedri and Sterling. I think Pedri's going to be a brilliant player, but
yeah, he's not Ballon d'Or worthy at the moment.
No, it's Sterling. How?
Yeah, Sterling. Well, that's just because of what he did at the Euros, isn't it? There's no way.
I think someone who should be close to being at the top is Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he's got a good shout. I think he's got a really good shout. I think the question, I think the difficulty in this is that you've got to look at who deserves to win it. But I think you've got to. I think this is the toughest year actually yet for me to sit there and go who deserves to win it, because there isn't actually, as you said, a standout winner where you even like Lewandowski last year, where you sat there and went,
it's impossible not to give it to him.
Yeah, it's like he is the guy. And as you said, like I always say the Ballon d'Or is wrongly judged. It's judged on who has won the most trophies and who is the media's favourite right now. So we all know, come December, the guy who's going to be holding that trophy is Jorginho.
Dave, I've just gone on Sky Bet. Do you know who the favourite is?
Jorginho.
Messi.
Is it? Yeah, but he's been poor for PSG.
I know. That's what I think.
I think
Messi, Lewandowski, Salah, Jorginho, according to Sky Bet. Let me go on someone else.
I don't. With Messi, I think.
Messi again.
I don't understand it with Lionel Messi, because like he's a good player, but he's what am I talking about? He's a world class,
exceptional player.
But he's just been, since he's joined PSG, and I know it's a different league, and I know he's not as into it as he probably would have been if he was at Barcelona, but
He made the choice to go there.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. He could have played for Barcelona for free, couldn't he? But I think the Ballon d'Or's got to be, I think, someone who's.
To be fair, he still did score 40 goals last season.
Well, that is true, but I think it's got to be someone who's like, consistent throughout the whole year. Like someone who you look at and you go, for the whole year, like they've not necessarily been world class the whole year, but they've been shining the light in a consistent period. So I suppose you could look at Jorginho and say it's not as undeserved as maybe people would say.
I'm not saying Jorginho should win it, but he's definitely on his list in the top 5. And
I'd agree.
And I'm not Jorginho's biggest fan. You know that. But yeah, you can't really argue. If you're going to include Sterling for what he did in the Euros, you got to include Jorginho.
100%. I think if I was going to give it to anyone, I'd give it to Mo Salah because I think he's carried. He forget not only is what he's doing at the moment. He's been absolutely brilliant. But you look at last season, he carried that Liverpool team probably through the last part of the season into the top 4 because they were absolutely rubbish last year, and he was the only one that turned up. Firmino went quiet. Mane decided.
Oh, what a surprise! Firmino went quiet. Oh.
Don't let Sean hear you say that. But oh God, the Firmino lovers are out in their forces at the moment, aren't they? Christ, they are out in their forces, aren't they?
They all work in my office, apparently.
But I'd like to see Mo Salah get it. If I was picking a top 5, I'd say Mo Salah first. I'd say second, Jorginho. I'd say third, Benzema. I'd say fourth, Haaland. And I'd say fifth, Kante.
Shall I do mine?
Go on.
All right, I'll do Mo Salah first. I'll do another Chelsea player, N'Golo Kante second.
Okay. Why Kante over Jorginho?
Because I just think he was. I just think in your Champions League winning season, he is your most important player.
Okay, fair enough.
I just thought I don't actually think he did anything wrong in any Champions League game I saw him in.
No, I would agree with that.
And unfortunately what was going in Jorginho's favourite Euros was he's having a team that were playing way over expectations, and everyone's was like on 100% confidence, whereas that French team did not give a fuck. They were still fucking having a party at the World Cup.
I know that France team, that was awful. They were awful.
Yeah. I put Lewandowski in, then I put Jorginho, and then I put Diaz.
So no Haaland.
Oh,
I think the numbers Haaland's been racking up this year is unreal, and I'd say the same for Benzema as well. I'm not Benzema's biggest fan, but he's been racking up the numbers this year, and that Real Madrid team is, I'd say, just as poor as Barcelona. I think it's been carried by Benzema. I have to be honest.
Well, yeah, I think so as well.
And I never thought I'd say that because I've been saying his whole career he's the most overrated striker in the world. And all of a sudden,
how can you do? This is the thing, though. I really do think he's so overrated. But again, he scored 201 goals for one of the best teams in the world.
But this season, he's really stepped up the play.
I think he's had much choice.
Well, exactly. This is what I mean. Like Hazard's been injured. Vinicius Junior is still a young kid, and he scored 11 goals in 12 games this season. Yeah, but Benzema.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on fire.
He scored 30 goals in 46. You know what? He ain't had a bad season in a long time. There was one season he was really injured, wasn't there? And he hardly scored any goals. But
this season, I think he's really carried the fight. I think he's been brilliant. And I think he's 100% would be my top. I'd say in the top 5, 100%. I think he's been so influential. And I think with Haaland as well. I mean, every single time I look in the results, Haaland scored a goal.
The only thing I've been open to, and I still love Haaland because I think he's one of the best strikers in the world. But he does go quiet against the big teams, and then he scores 4 against, I don't know, Paderborn or something. That's my only problem with Haaland. No problem. I love him so much, but that's my only problem with Haaland.
Okay. Let's make it a bit more.
Let's do the Fallon door, the worst player. Oh.
Let's do the team of the year. If we're picking team of the year, who's in goal?
Mendy, no doubts about it.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
Donnarumma
he's got it, hasn't he?
He's the only goalkeeper in the Ballon for the.
Which is ridiculous.
He's not even playing at PSG.
100%. It should be Mendy. Mendy would be mine. Back four, I would say Ruben Diaz. 100% is
easy
in there. I would probably say Marquinhos.
Yeah, there's definitely he's not even up for it, is he?
I know. I'd say he's in there.
It's hard. Do you know what? I really can't stand the bloke, but it's hard not to put either Chiellini or Bonucci in.
Yeah, we could play three at the back and go Chiellini.
One of them. I'll let you choose. You can put one of them in.
I'll have Chiellini. We'll do three at the back.
It's hard not to put one of them in, unfortunately. I don't really like either of them, to be honest.
I agree. Then we got four across the midfield, and then we'll play three up front.
Well, we've got two, haven't we? Already.
Yeah. So what? Two are in there. Jorginho, Kante.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. Jorginho, Kante.
Cornet. I'm joking.
How on earth is he at Burnley? I still have no idea.
He loves it as well. He's like celebrating every goal, like he loves life.
He is just one of those players. I'm just like, you're just too good for Burnley. He's just walked in there by mistake.
He knows he's a stepping stone, and he loves it.
He's just walked in. He's gone for a conference meeting and gone, Burnley. I don't know why he's got an accent.
I don't know why he's bloody Brummy all of a sudden. Maxwell Cornet.
Maxwell Cornet. He's just stumbled into a conference room. They've got Sean Dyche gone, Maxwell, you're going to come and join Burnley. He was like, Burnley? I thought this was Barcelona.
Yes.
Yes, you're quite right. Join the club. I am Ronald Koeman.
Both ginger.
See, there we go. So we got Jorginho, Kante. I'd say Messi on the right. I think Messi should deserve to be in there because he has racked up the numbers.
Sterling. I'm joking.
Benzema's got to be out front for me. I think he's been brilliant.
Do we not have another midfielder?
De Bruyne.
Yeah, who else?
De Bruyne. So De Bruyne, Messi, and then
Salah.
Oh yeah, Salah. I'd put Salah over De Bruyne then, because I think Benzema and Haaland have to be in this team.
Can we not just fit Benzema and Salah in? Salah can play up front. Why not?
Oh, so yeah, we have got three up front. So Benzema, Salah, and Haaland.
Do we? We've just made the first 12-a-side team.
No, because you got 3-4-3.
Oh yeah. Should we play rush goalie and we can have Haaland in as well? Oh no, we can have Mbappe in as well.
Haaland, running to the goal.
I would guarantee he would win a race anyway. So
I think that's a good team. I just think Benzema's got to be in there. I can't believe I'm praising Benzema. If you told me, like, even a year, I think we both, when we did that overrated episode, I think we both had Benzema in there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And another one that one player I just don't get the hype about is that Neymar. I do not get the hype about him at all.
No, me neither.
And he's just in there. He's always there. His little face there. Hello, I'm Neymar. Hello.
I thought you joined the call then.
I just don't get it. Like,
can you believe he's 29?
And he's done nothing with his career. How would you, if you were Neymar, Ollie, what would you say? How would you look back at your career?
I was Neymar. Well, I've won the Champions League, the La Liga. I've earned millions and millions and millions.
but you were never the best player in the world when everyone thought that you were going to be.
But then you turn around and show them what you've won.
True. But I keep getting told for years and years and years it's Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar.
He really cares that? Do you think he really cares that he hasn't won a Ballon d'Or?
I would say when he was projected to the level that he's at, I'd say yeah, I think he will be gutted. Because I think you've got to take into consideration Neymar was in the same position as Mbappe is in right at this moment in time, where everyone's sitting there going, "This guy's going to be a future Ballon d'Or winner." Even I said it when I was watching him rip defences apart in Santos. I said, "This guy's going to get a move to a big club, and he's going to become the best player in the world." And he's been, I know it's harsh to say average, but I think for the level that he was perceived to be at, I think he's underachieved in terms of his ability on the pitch.
I think he's just a glorified street footballer.
Yeah, I would agree. I think as well. I think he's been covered by being in a team that had Messi and Suarez in it.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, this is what I mean. I mean, yes, you'll look back and you'll see trophies and everything like that, and you know, yeah, I've won this and I've won that, I've won this. But when you sit there and think about it, I always say players, like, for example, as we've been talking about, Kante can sit there one day and show his Champions League medal, and he can sit there and go, I was so influential in the reason. Well, I don't think Kante would. He's so humble, bless him. But
yeah, but you can't, like Neymar did. He was, when they won it, didn't he have the most assists in the Champions League? I really don't like Neymar that much. So I just try to look on the other side of it.
I just think, and I know it's harsh, but I think if I was sitting there, I'd be just like, I should have won that Ballon d'Or. And I know like that Messi and Ronaldo has only just been really pulled away from them in the last 3 years or so. But everyone told me, and all the media and everyone was that as soon as Messi and Ronaldo stopped sharing it out, the next guy that was going to win it was Neymar. And he hasn't.
In comes Luka Modric.
Here comes Luka Modric and here comes Luka. Who won it last year? Lewandowski.
I don't know.
I just personally think it's a bit of a. I just think. Don't get me wrong. I think this is one thing that everyone sits there and says Neymar's a very good player. I'm like, I actually think he is a very good player. Every time I watch him, I just sit there and I go, you could be doing so much more with this football. And I think when you look at it, he's gone to PSG, and he went to PSG, in my opinion, to win that Ballon d'Or. If he was happy and content with the trophies that he was winning, he would have stayed at Barcelona. There's no way he would have gone to PSG. He went to PSG to get out of Messi's shadow, to become the main man, and to win that Ballon d'Or. I mean, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. He moved to get out of Messi's shadow.
So theoretically, I know it's a difficult league because everyone's going to sit there and go, "Oh, you're not. Oh, it's a farmers' league." But if he'd gone to PSG and won them, the Champions League, everyone would be sitting there talking. Everyone would be sitting there going, we've got to put some respect on Neymar's name. But he's not done that at PSG. He's not done that. It's like the argument in managers when I say Guardiola. He's not gone to Man City and won the Champions League. That's why he went to Manchester City. He didn't go there to win Premier Leagues. Well, he did go there.
He went there to win the Carabao Cup 5 times in a row.
But this is what I mean. Everyone sits there and goes,
5 Cups, they call them.
Well, everyone sits there and says, you're so harsh on Guardiola. I don't think I am. I think when they employed him, in terms of winning the league would be nice, but we want that big ears. You're the best guy in the business. Win us that Champions League.
We want the Carabao Cup 10 times in a row, Pat.
Do you agree with me?
Yeah, 100%. I just want to see Fernandinho lift the Carabao Cup into his 50s. Oh, they need a fucking stair lift up the stairs for him.
They've got a tough game. They've had a tough game. They had a tough game against West Ham.
Congratulations to the winner of that tie!
Who do you think is going to win that Carabao Cup?
Man City.
Do you think?
Every year we ask this question, and every year it's Man City.
Who's your dark horses for it? I'm going to
Man
go
City.
Brentford. I'm going to go Brentford. I think Brentford could deceive everyone and go quite far in there.
I go whoever wins the Burnley Tottenham game. Oh, sorry, the winner that's already happened in the Burnley Tottenham game.
Jay Rodriguez is going to get another 4 goals.
We'll still probably lose 5-4.
That really confused me the other day because I went on the BBC Sport website. I clicked on top scorers, and it came up with that Force from Brentford 5 goals, and Jay Rodriguez 4 goals, and I was like, no, I must have clicked on the wrong season. And I clicked back on it, and it came up again. I was like, did Jay Rodriguez really score 4 goals in one?
Yeah, I saw. They're all right in front of me as well. And we went 1-0 down to Rochdale.
Oh dear! But that Maxwell Cornet, I mean, go back to him. He's class. I think he's next level for you guys. I really do.
Ole, 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 Cornet. He's just not scared to have a shot. Like the second goal, it was a brilliant shot, but I mean, Alex McCarthy should have saved it. But he's just willing to have a go. Do you know what I mean? Rather than, you know what? Let's just kick it up the field and see what happens. Yeah, he's great, and he seems to love all the players, and the fans love him, and he loves that. So I enjoy this one season we'll probably have with him. And I'm fine with that. Like, he can bring all of his other friends from the Ivory Coast.
Okay, here's my question, Ollie. I want to ask you this because I feel like it's going to cause a lot of debate. Has anything changed since that takeover at Burnley?
Well, yeah, we signed Maxwell Cornet.
But you also signed Chris Wood for 15 million. It's not like you've.
David, who would you rather sign, Maxwell Cornet or Chris Wood?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you've spent that kind of money before, and you've got these lovely new owners, and you were on this podcast going, Alan Pace at the wheel. Is it Alan Pace?
Yeah, I wouldn't sing that. That's apparently the most unluckiest song in football.
But you were sitting there singing Alan Pace, and he did nothing. And he did nothing in the window.
What do you mean he did nothing in the window?
Well, Cornet, I know, but that's.
We signed Nathan Collins.
Oh, true. Yeah.
We signed Connor Roberts.
True.
3 first-team players.
Well, no, because
I was really happy. I was a bit annoyed that at first we'd only signed Collins, and then we signed Cornet and not Collins, Roberts.
But you also signed Aaron Lennon, and then
I'm not disappointed with that at all.
Really?
He's just okay. I know you're going to say he started, but we had injuries. Well, not much more you can do about that. But
why don't you go spend a bit of money and buy loan players or buy some players that are going to sit in your squad?
Well, because we have squad players, but we needed some players to boost the first team. We got Cornet, we got Collins, and we got Roberts. Unfortunately, Roberts got injured playing for Wales, but can't do anything about that. Well, you can.
Also signed 38-year-old Aaron Lennon.
Yeah, and I'm happy with that.
You can't be happy with that, Ollie.
Why?
Because you're in the bottom
He's a
three.
squad player.
In 2007, I'd say, yeah, that's great, but not in 2021.
Well, I'd love to sign bloody prime Aaron Lennon and prime Raphael van der Vaart, but I can think of anyone else who played for Tottenham at that point. But we can't. And I from an outsider, it probably seems a bit mad, but he's come in and he's done all right. Deitch never wanted to let him go. Deitch even said he never wanted to let him go.
But you're in the bottom three.
For now?
Yeah, surely you want to be...
Do you know we're in the bottom three because of fucking James Tarkowski, the moron? You know what? I'll just pass to the Southampton player. That's fun. Drove me nuts. You probably hear me from bloody Preston city centre. Yeah,
but surely you're getting, I'm not being funny here, but surely when this new owner came in, surely it was to elevate you to sort of not be flirting with relegation anymore.
It doesn't. But the thing is, you got to understand, there's new owners. They've got more money, yes, but still one of the smallest owners in the league. Like, it's going to take time. I think they're doing the right thing. They're strengthening our team slowly, and they did the thing that they promised. They promised to buy one or two players who would boost our squad, which they did. They bought three, in my opinion, three really solid players. Okay, I know we haven't seen Connor Roberts yet, but I do think he'll be a good addition to the team. They promised that Deitch will be intrigued to sign a new contract, which he has, a very good contract, and they're making improvements to the team the club all around, which I'm happy about.
Yeah, but like when you're signing, when you haven't got a striker. You've got Chris Wood, but surely, the answer can't be for much longer Ashley Barnes, and then you're sitting there 5 minutes later when they're all old and decrepit, and you're going, well, we have no squad. Well, why aren't you signing quality players now then?
Well, yeah, if we just signed Cornet, he's a quality player.
Yeah, but look what Brighton have done.
Well, we don't have as much money as Brighton, and they're happy to risk it and put.
Come on, Ollie, you have much more money than Brighton do.
Look how much Brighton have spent compared to us. We surely don't.
Brighton
have one of the worst net spends in the last 5 years in the Premier League.
Yeah, because Dyche won't spend the money.
Dyche doesn't have the money to spend like Brighton.
But he does. You were in Europa League 2 years ago.
David, I don't think you realise how much money you get from being. It's not like it doesn't really work like that, as much as an owner gives you.
But it's still more money, and you're gradually getting more and more Premier League money.
Yeah, and that's why I don't get how you're not getting this. Like, Brighton have a richer owner, so they spend more money.
Yeah, but you've got a rich owner.
We've got a richer owner than our last owner, who's willing to invest more money, which he's doing.
Is he?
We haven't signed a first-team player in the last 3 years, and now we've signed three. We've signed three in one thing. We spent £32 million.
And then you bought Aaron Lennon.
As a squad player, I don't get. We signed a 20-year-old defender who's now starting for Ireland, and he was wanted by Leeds and all that, and he came to Burnley. We signed Connor Roberts, who was playing in the Premier League, 3 years. I don't know how many years ago it was now, and plays for Wales every game. And we signed Maxwell Cornet, who ran rings around Man City not 2 years ago. That sounds like such a good transfer window to me.
But instead of Aaron Lennon, why don't you go for someone like a Josh King or something like that? Because he's on more wages.
Well, because they didn't want Josh King, apparently.
Well, he's better than Lennon, isn't he?
Oh, so's Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo wasn't free transfer, was he?
Well,
I mean, surely you want to be a bit more ambitious, don't you, mate?
we just got Maxwell Cornet. I don't get your argument.
Yeah, but where's the top striker?
Well, according to our team sheet last Saturday or whenever we played, Cornet was it. We played two up front. He was. Do you know what? I think he is going to play up front on the next weekend.
Yeah, but then he's playing better on the wing, isn't he?
Do you know the one complaint I do have about Cornet? He doesn't. When he plays on the wing, he doesn't cover Charlie Taylor anywhere near enough. So I reckon Cornet and Wood up front, and then Goodmanson and McNeil on the wings, and I think we're.
Well, that's another player. Dwight McNeil again. I think he's been quite poor lately.
Yeah, but have you watched our games?
Well, this is what I mean. You need better quality, don't you?
What do you mean? He's like our best player. Well,
Who's your
Bob
best
Cornet
player?
now. McNeil.
Well, he's not scored a goal in like 10 years.
Well, that's not his job.
I mean, as a winger, I'd say getting a few goals is probably.
Yeah, he scored a few goals last season.
What, two?
Two very good goals. Actually, one of the. Did you see that goal against Villa last season? It was a cross, and Martinez went, "I should probably dive for this," and jumped over the ball. Oh, I don't know. We're not going to agree on this because I think we had a really good transfer window.
I just think if for Burnley now, I just feel like you should be having a bit more ambition, and like getting Maxwell Cornet is great, but that's like Brighton. Like let's take another team for example, like Brighton signing
Maxwell Cornet. There's no bet. it's better than all the Brighton players.
But Brighton signed Cucurella, but that's not the only signing they paid.
They got more money than us. You just look at the owner chart.
You've been in the league longer than Brighton.
Okay, so we've been in the league. Well, and if we're talking about recently, we've been in the league longer than Aston Villa, but they've spent 300 million in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, but Villa are a bigger club.
Brighton, yeah, because of their own, and Brighton have got more money than us. We can't control that.
Yeah, but I think you do have the money.
We're not on the. If you're comparing us to Brighton, who
Bloody hell it. In other news, England women are winning 10-0.
Yeah, actually.
They're winning 10-0 at the moment.
Yes, too. Lappy. Oh, it only says 9-0, so I'm expecting a goal any minute.
Yeah, they are literally. They just scored. I'm watching in my flash hotel room. Travel lodge.
Well, I've heard David's in a travel lodge because he's going to be unveiled as the new Watford manager.
Oh dear.
Even Ellen White scored. I think Ellen White's one of the most underrated footballers of all time. Debate.
Yeah, she's very, very good.
Yeah, she always scores.
I do get your point now about the Burnley thing. I do, but I just think if I was Burnley now, I'd be getting so bored of just the same thing, year after year after year.
But here we are. Here I am, not bored.
Yeah, but you're at the games. That's why.
Well, thank God that Brighton have got their minus 202 million net spend over the last 5 years. Woo! Go on, Brighton!
Yeah, but surely when you're down the bottom, my point is, surely if you're a team down the bottom three, which you were before the window shut, and you have Aaron Lennon come through the door, surely you're not sitting there going, "Oh, well, that's great, isn't it?"
Well, do you know who came in after Aaron? You came in on deadline day and the weekend before.
Oh, here we go.
Connor Roberts and Maxwell Cornet.
You didn't say it like I thought you would.
So, I'm not at all disappointed.
What about your league form then?
It's coming. I've not. We've been fucking making a few mistakes a game, but if we play like we did and fucking Tarkowski decides not to pass it to an opponent player, I think we might have a win soon.
Would you sell Tarkowski?
Oh, after seeing Nathan Collins. Obviously, I mean, if we sell Tarkowski in January, I would say bring in another young defender. Or even an experienced. Why not bring in John Egan? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I think Egan would be happy being as a backup for now. Do you know what I mean? But Collins, obviously, he's only just turned 20, so he's still young. But he seems brilliant. I'm really happy with him. But I'm just getting pissed off with Tarkowski because I don't know if it's that he doesn't want to be there anymore, or he's just, I don't know. But he's making so many mistakes a game. But it's kind of like, I don't know if you have it at Chelsea, but he's so idolised by the fans that some fans aren't willing to point out the mistakes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That was a bit like a bit like John Obi Mikel. Everyone seemed to love him, but no one would point out when he did something wrong.
It drives me. I've been saying it for a while now that Tarkowski drives. I love him. He's great. He's one of the best defenders we've ever had. But that's what makes it worse. Do you know what I mean? He should be in his prime now.
Well, do you think the reason? Well, you've just said in his prime. So do you think he's pushing for a move?
Ooh, he's not doing a very good job of it. If he would you want to sign a player who passes the ball directly to Southampton player and they go and score? You can see I'm still not over it. I just thought he's made so many mistakes this season. I'm not saying that none of the other team haven't, but when you make so many and you're meant to be such a reliable player, it sticks out. But
Okay.
I'm not getting too upset if Eric Peters makes a mistake. It's expected.
Okay. I've got a question before we do our unexpected star of the week, as we did last week. Talking about managers, and obviously you've got one in Sean Dyche. Who would you say are the top 3 most underrated managers in the league? And this is always a difficult one, I always find, because it's always difficult because sometimes you pick a manager who you actually do rate, but he's obviously he's just not like a big. I always say Rafa falls quite into this one because everyone says, "Oh, he's really underrated," but he's not because everyone actually kind of rates Rafa. It's just because he's not like a Pep or a Klopp standard. So I'm going to say one of mine, and then I want you to say one of yours and see if we agree or have the same one. My underrated manager, I'd probably say the most underrated manager in this league, I think is Dean Smith. I honestly think no one talks about him. I think he's done a really good job with Villa. Yes, he spent a lot of money, but then which managers don't in the Premier League now, apart from Burnley?
Yeah, but this is different money though. This is a scary amount of money. Not scary as in like it's not going to be like Newcastle level now, but they spent 300 million in the last 3 years. That's more than Burnley have ever spent.
They've spent 300 million, but they've spent it wisely. They have. In the last few windows, they've spent that money wisely. And as I've said, they do spend a lot of money, but it's not like he's spending that money and throwing it down the toilet on buying. You know, how many times in the years have we seen like someone buy like an Owen Hargreaves or something like that? And you're like, oh, why are you wasting that money like that? I think he spent the money really wisely. I think he's a really top manager. I think he's pushing them up to further.
I think you're putting a lot of disrespect on Owen Hargreaves. That one game he played for Man City, he was quality.
You hate Owen Hargreaves.
I know, I can't stand him.
But yeah, I'd say.
Can I just say, it makes it sound like I hate every single footballer that's ever lived on this episode, and it's probably true.
But apart from
Cornet, Connor Roberts, and Nathan Collins,
and Aaron Lennon,
I love Aaron Lennon. Do you know Owen Hargreaves is my favourite ever Calgary Foothills FC player? Not a lie. It's not a lie at all.
Okay, so do you agree with Dean Smith for me?
No, not at all.
No, I don't. You just a hater.
Oh, he what's the word? So I've lost my train of thought. He struggled to get Villa up, spent a lot of money, struggled really. Everyone was saying, "Oh, we're expecting to finish in the top 7. Oh, they're going to win the league this season." Oh, lose to Burnley and it all goes downhill. Lost 3 on a row now. Yeah, I don't think he's underrated at all. I think he's buying his way to his Premier League mid-tableness.
I'm not sure on that, but anyway,
But that's why we're great hosts, because we never agree.
Okay, who's your one then?
Well, the most underrated manager in Premier League, Sean Dyche.
Oh, here we go.
Hardly spent a thing and got a 7th. Then finished 10th 2 years later.
Okay. Underrated then.
You can't tell me he's not stupidly underrated.
Yeah, I agree with you. Would you? The only question mark I have over Sean Dyche,
Yeah, go on.
is if he went to another club, would he be as successful?
Yeah.
You think?
Right. Here's the thing. He would if he. Let's just say. I know this is just another world scenario. This will never happen. Let's say he goes to Man United, right? He would get Man United solidly 3rd or 4th, yeah? Maybe second. Maybe second on a bad season. And yeah, you know what? If there's a really bad season, they would win the league. But he would never take them to win the Champions League. But if he took a Tottenham, no, not Tottenham. If he took an Everton, he would probably get Everton into the Champions League.
See, I don't agree with that. I don't think he would.
I think he would. I don't think that he would win many plaudits, but I think he would take them into the Champions League. Their home record would be unreal. Their away record, they would pick up points when they need to.
Don't get me wrong. I think Sean Dyche is a terrific manager.
Dave, you love Sean Dyche. You bought me a Dyche cut out for my birthday this year.
I do love Sean Dyche, and I think he's a great manager. I know people turn around and don't perceive his football as flattering or anything like that, but I think he does.
He's adapting to how he has to. Like everyone,
exactly. And there's no other manager that would keep that Burnley team up for as long as he's done. Not at all. No manager in world football would be able to do that. And the only thing I wonder is, I think Sean Dyche is very good with people that are going to put blood, sweat, and tears onto the pitch.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I think like your Ben Mees, and I know we've just discussed Tarkovsky, but like your Tarkovsky that passed and like that are just going to they'd throw their head in front of a cannon just for a clean sheet.
Well, there's the Deitch saying that every player comes out, and he says it in nearly every press conference, is the minimum expectation is 100% effort.
Exactly, and I think that he's got, and like obviously he's been there so long that team is his. I think the worry would be. I'm sorry to cut you, but I'll let you talk. I think the worry would be if he went into an Everton. I don't think players such as Richarlison,
yeah, that's what I was going to say,
Andre Gomez, and people like that would do exactly what he's. I suppose Michael Keane is there, and Michael Keane's worked under him.
But I think this is what we're seeing with Everton, right? I think Rafa's a bit similar to Deitch. I don't think Rafa expects you to do bicycle kicks every game and do fancy. I don't think he wants to see fancy flicks from Richarlison. I think Rafa wants to see Andros Townsend or anyone give 100%. And that's why Townsend's going to get picked, because Andros Townsend's one of the hardest working footballers in the game. Doesn't mean he's the best player in the game. And I think if Deitch was given, 3 years at least at Everton, he would get rid of all these fancy people. Do you know what I mean? Like, Richarlison's and Rodrigo, James. I know.
But would he be allowed to be it? Because I think.
Oh no, of course not. This is just fantasy land. Do you know what I mean? But I think the Everton fans would appreciate the effort, and I think this is why they're turning around on Rafa, is because they're seeing a fight from their team. Okay, maybe not in their last game, but they're seeing a fight from their team, and they haven't seen that fight in the team for a very long time. And we always think, oh, we've gone on to an Everton rant now, and we always put Everton with that under Moyes, that team that put in that massive fight.
Mm.
I don't know why I made that into a really passionate speech about Everton, but
do you think? Would you agree with this statement that this is a very, very bold statement. So maybe not agree with it, but do you see that this is a element that could happen to him? He leaves Burnley, which one day he's going to do. He's going to leave Burnley, and I can guarantee when he leaves Burnley, he's not going to retire. So he leaves Burnley, and say an Everton employ him. Do you think that could finish off Sean Dyche, though? And in terms of the element.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think
in terms of the element that someone employs him, and they go, "We don't want what you did at Burnley. We want you to play nice, swift, slick football. We don't want it lumped up to."
He wouldn't take the job, would he?
But we were saying last week on this podcast that Burnley are the last team to still do that. So wherever club he went to, could you see him being allowed to be what he is?
Yeah, I mean,
because it works for Sam Allardyce, because Sam Allardyce comes in and the owners just say to him, "But just keep us up. We don't," and then they'll get rid of him. That's
I think you're 100% right. I think his next move managerial has to be the right one.
But is there a right one?
I think there is. I couldn't tell you what it is, but I do feel if he went to Everton, he's not gonna. I think that ship's sailed, thankfully. I don't know. Watch fucking League for Everton next week. But I do think especially, do you remember that season where it was between him and Marco Silva, who was going to be the next Everton manager? I was shocked. I was appalled that he went. I'm not. I mean, if I was an Everton fan, I'd be. That season we finished 7th. I would have been crying out for Dyche. Mm-hmm. But because we'd pretty much done what they'd been trying to do. Do you know what I mean? What they'd been. Sorry, not they're trying to do, but what they were doing, and they didn't do every season, and we'd come and done it with a bit of ease. We didn't even win our last 2 or 3 games. Do you know what I mean? But I reckon if we were to go down, I think any team mid to bottom Premier League would be silly to not to turn their eye to Dyche. Do you know what I mean? With a bit more budget behind him, who knows what that man can do? There's a reason he has a sign that says the miracle worker at Turf Moor, because he is a miracle worker.
Do you think he could adapt his style though?
I think he would bloody try, and he would do it. The one thing he has a guarantee that a lot of other managers doesn't have, players will play for him, and if they don't play for him, it's simple as they'll be out the door. You don't mess with Sean Dyche. Players have found that out the hard way.
True, but
Look
then
at Defoe. Defoe really struggled to get on with Dyche at the beginning, and granted he had all these injury problems. He had one amazing season, and then he says it was the best manager he ever played under.
But some clubs, and this is the difference here. Some clubs have, some players that they'll say this guy's got to play every week, and that's also down to, that player, for example, brings in, our revenue from. I'm just using it. I hate using Everton as the example. Everton, the example club for this podcast. But say, for example, they sit there and they go, we need to play Richarlison because Richarlison brings in our Brazilian following. So you've got to play him as much as possible. And also, some players have clauses in their contracts that say they have to play a certain amount of games in a season. So
that's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, imagine if we had a clause in our contracts at work saying we get paid more every week, even if we didn't turn up for work or something.
But it came.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong, but
it came out like William. That's why William played so many times. It's come out since, and he said that it was in his contract that he had to play a certain amount of games in a season. That's why he was getting like those silly late sub appearances so they could build up a game.
It's wrong, isn't it?
But that's what I mean. So he wouldn't be able, so he could go to clubs and might not be able to do that.
Yeah, but this is just hard because we're putting scenarios like we don't know if there'll be a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a hard one to say because I don't personally I think he would want to put every player on an equal pedestal, so he wouldn't accept a job like that. It's a tough one because we're obviously trying to make a scenario that doesn't exist, but
just don't go to Watford. Well,
I'm going to change subject because as well I could talk about Burnley all day long. He's already been at Watford. He did all right there. Did you see the Crystal Palace banner against Newcastle?
Oh yeah, I did.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about them getting fined for it potentially?
What, the fans of the club?
Well, the club on behalf of the fans, if that makes sense.
I don't think it's fair on the club. I mean, the stewards should know what banners are coming in and out. I do agree with that, like that kind of thing, because sometimes you could get a banner being thrown up there.
What about the message on the banner? Like,
the problem is, I think. Don't get me wrong. What I'm going to say here is, and I want people to listen to what I'm saying instead of going straight in. Where this Newcastle money's come from, the human right is wrong. It's very, very wrong, and it is dodgy money. You've got to sit there and say that. Well, an element of it is dodgy money. But I do think at the same time, I can understand the point that they're doing it. But I'm also at the same time, I think it's a lot of jealousy from a lot of these football clubs because that's them because if it was Crystal Palace that had been bought like that, would their fans be sitting there going it's wrong? No, they wouldn't. So I do think it's an element of jealousy from a lot of these clubs, and that's why a lot of clubs are turning on Newcastle. And I think a lot of it is jealousy because every single club is threatened by this Newcastle takeover because now Newcastle are going to get better players. That means a spot that they were competing down the bottom is going to be filled by another team. And also the teams at the top are starting to quiver in their boots because they know that that's another team in the mix for a title or a top 4 place. So I think a lot of it is jealousy, if I'm being brutally honest. But I can also see the point of view of where the money's come from. I do get it, but I do think a lot of it is jealousy because I think even if no matter what club they would have taken over, the fans of the club that they would have taken over wouldn't be worrying about where it's come from.
Yeah, I've actually seen a few Newcastle fans on Twitter say they're not going to support the club anymore.
Really?
Yeah, there's one. One guy who was a journalist as well, but yeah, I've seen a few. I mean, it's a very, very small few, but I don't know where. Like, it's easier to say. Like, obviously, right now, if the Burnley came out with these Saudi Arabian owners, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to support the club. But you don't know that. Do you know what I mean?
It's frightening the amount of money they've
I would,
got.
yeah, it's frightening the stories you hear. It's frightening that this deal was turned around for so many, or turned away for so many reasons a year ago or 6 months ago, whatever. And now all of a sudden it just happened to gone through again, all of within the space of like 4 days.
Yeah, but it's a difficult one because I feel like maybe you say people aren't going to agree with you, but
It's probably the most split thing in football right now.
It does leave a sour taste in the mouth, I would say so, and it is something that you want to like. You should be sitting there going, "It's exciting," but you, as morally as a football fan, as a human being, you would sit there and go, "Oh, it's a bit dodgy." But then,
I didn't realise Chelsea were playing today.
Yeah, what's the score?
You just scored.
Who scored?
Havertz.
Yeah.
Do you even know you're playing?
Oh my, do you know what that's worth? Kai Havertz is the best on earth.
Do you know you're playing?
Southampton.
Oh, good. I didn't even know that. I forgot. I keep thinking it's Monday today. I don't know why.
Because we're not on Sky, they got the Arsenal lead. Oh, of course they do.
Of course. There's hardly any cup games on tonight.
No, there's only 3, and then the rest of them are tomorrow.
No.
Oh, Wednesday.
Wednesday, 2 days ago, obviously.
I think Brentford are going to win it.
Oh, yeah. That's where we started, wasn't it?
We always diverge into weird conversations. Honestly, we are very good at that, I have to say. We literally go from point to point.
All I've heard all week is bloody Preston and Liverpool. All we see around town, people wearing the Liverpool masks, scarves, people wearing Preston hats. That's all you see.
There's a girl from Preston on my course I'm doing at the moment.
Poor girl.
Okay, last thing before we go. Who's your unexpected star of the week?
Oh, I forget about. Well, I was gonna say I forget about this every week, but why not give it to Benteke again? He had a pretty good. Can you go first?
Me,
I'll be prepared next week.
I think it's got to be Josh King, isn't it?
Oh, I've done my research.
It has to be Josh King. He's come out of nowhere to score a hat-trick against Everton away from home. He's got to win it. 100% Josh King for me.
Yeah. Still going. Do you know what?
I'll tell you another one really impressed me this season, and it's not just this week, but another one who's impressed me, and I just think I used to think this guy was one of the worst defenders in the league, and I never got the hype. But actually, I think in the last 18 months, I think he's actually turned into a really good defender. Angelo Bonner.
Oh, David, you hated him. You used to every time there was a shit defender, you always to compare him to Ogbonna.
I literally did. Over the last 18 months, I have to eat humble pie. What is going on in the world? Ogbonna, Benzema.
All right, I have got mine. Thankfully, I haven't let myself down. Mine goes to someone who I don't know why I talk it like it's a bloody speech, like a big award every week. But basically, we forgot he existed. I think his own team forgot he existed. But James Maddison.
He's so overrated.
But he's my... What was it again?
Unexpected star.
My unexpected star of the week, because I don't expect much from him anymore.
He is so overrated, mate. Honestly, he is
He's let his Jack Grealish cut grow out too long, so he can't be like Grealish anymore.
Overrated. Unbelievably overrated.
Yeah, I agree. But
and don't you find it funny how every time he scores, he always gets a Sky Sports interview?
Is that not how it works most of the times?
And he'll sit there and he'll go, "Yeah, I mean, I've been watching Sky Sports and I've been told I need to score more goals. Well, why aren't you scoring the bloody goals then?"
He's hardly played in this season.
Well, that's what I mean. They're picking up a bit, Leicester, again, aren't they?
Yeah, it was big win.
Do you see someone slipping into that top 4 ahead of United now?
How many times do we say yes?
What about
Maybe
West
if
Ham?
I say no this time, then it will happen.
What about West Ham?
Every time I think it's going to happen, it doesn't. I really want West Ham or Leicester or someone to get in the Champions League. Everton or not Tottenham.
Burnley.
Oh, Dave. We've had enough jokes this podcast.
Maxwell Corner, baby.
Here's another chance to tear City up in the FA Cup quarter-final. FA Cup, fuck's sake. Champions League. Oh, well, we'll probably get drawn against them in the FA Cup, so he has his chance.
I was going to say he will.
If we beat Tottenham, we'll be on such a buzz, and then they'll be like, number 3, Burnley will play Manchester City. Oh, well, well done, everyone. We'll make a DVD about it.
Oh, do you remember that WhatsApp where all those like a year ago or so, when we were talking about the FA Cup round or the draw, it was the FA Cup draw, and you were like, "Don't message me who we get," because I'm watching it a bit behind on the stream, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and I was just about to tell you, and you were like, "Just tell me if it's good or bad," and I went, and then suddenly I get a voice note from you going, "Oh, why?"
Oh, we bloody paid for that game as well. Wait, wasn't it the Carabao Cup? Wasn't it the?
No, this one was the FA Cup like
Oh,
years
was it? Oh, it was.
You always get Man City.
No, we didn't get. We went out to Bournemouth in the FA Cup last season. It was the Carabao Cup.
And then you went out to Lincoln.
Oh, I went home to see my family that weekend. What a mistake that was.
Oh dear.
I thought we were going to win the Carabao Cup last season. We bloody played so well against Sheffield United in that first game.
Which you paid £10 for.
Oh, yes.
God, you think when we used to spend that amount of money on a game?
Yeah, but we didn't spend it in a pub or anywhere.
My favourite memory will always be when we went to the pub to watch West Brom Burnley. And it was like 4-0 before half time. And I was like, Ollie, just want to go play FIFA? And he was like, yeah, fuck's sake. One time Burnley on Sky Sports and I can't even enjoy it.
I remember that West Brom fan went, we could still fuck it up. And I went, oh, I think you've got this one, mate. Do you remember that one West Brom fan who was adamant that they were going to fuck it up?
Yeah, literally. I don't think
you say I don't have any self-belief in my team.
You don't know, Ollie. You're always negative about Burnley.
Can you blame me? Hey, Hastings United are beating Ashford. Woo! It's not all bad.
And on that note,
or should I say, Hastings have won, drawn, or lost against Ashford?
Oh dearie me. Oh, I love this. I love this podcast.
Please just say you hate it. I was like, do you love it? Do you hate it? I can't work it out.
I love this podcast. I absolutely love it. I'm in the middle of my TV presenting training at the moment, so next week I'm going to be an absolute pro.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna find another presenter friend. You're gonna replace me.
Never, Ollie. I love you, man.
Oh, who would bring the bad jokes?
Jorginho? No. More like Jorginho, no.
Oh, that was yeah. I don't know why I didn't get sacked. Just from everything, my friends, my life, the podcast.
Oh dear. Well, let's see if Burnley can beat Tottenham, shall we? Oh, well done to Burnley for beating Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm buzzing right now, or I'm really sad, or I feel different because it's the cup.
Let's make it an omen. Burnley have beaten Tottenham in the Carabao Cup. I think you could actually.
All right, Dave. Calm down.
I always sit there now and I'm just like, how do we end this podcast now? Because we don't have to sit there and go, stay home, stay safe.
Stay wherever you want.
Go and see your family.
Unless you don't want to.
Unless you don't want to. In that case, stay at home.
There we go. Stay at home if you don't want to see your family.